In politics, you're either on message or you are losing. Let's get to it. Welcome to On Message, a weekly look at where the battle lines are drawn and who is winning the war of words. This week, turning the aircraft carrier around. As the COVID pandemic comes back on stage for an encore, the communication behind the pandemic, the rush to blame someone, and the failure to control misinformation have been fascinating, frustrating, infuriating, but certainly fascinating. After the initial rollout of the vaccine, infection numbers across the country and here in Utah declined significantly. Daily infection rates dropped into the low hundreds, mask mandates ended, and life was, for the most part, back to normal. Of course, there was that nagging concern about low vaccination rates overall. As I pointed out in our previous episode, we came just short of the 70% vaccination rate by Independence Day, but overall the pandemic seemed to be fading into the past. The one lingering storyline was the annoyingly high number of people who were refusing to get vaccinated. Setting aside exemptions for religious beliefs or medical conflicts, vaccinations allow for a certain percentage of us to hold out, but certainly not half of us. By July 4th, less than half the country was fully vaccinated and only 55% had even one dose administered. Whether wholly accurate or not, the narrative was certainly setting in. The far right, anti-vax. The far left, very pro-vax. And in the middle, relatively split between those who were willing to get vaccinated and those who maybe just weren't making it a priority. As life returned to normal, the motivation to get the Fauci ouchie understandably diminished. It seems the one thing we could all agree on during the pandemic, that shutting down society was the worst, was not enough of a motivation to put all this behind us once and for all. Hey, thanks for the effort, medical science. Over the past couple of weeks, though, there has been a shift in the narrative. The Delta variant of the virus became a more serious threat, with reports saying 90% of those who are now being hospitalized and dying are those who have not been vaccinated. The CDC director wins the messaging game by coining the phrase, pandemic of the unvaccinated. Simplest message wins, remember? That was followed by reports that Fox News, the Ringo Starr behind the drumbeat of anti-vax information, was actually requiring its employees to be vaccinated in order to go back to work. Before you could attempt to say hydroxychloroquine, suddenly we had Fox pundits and Republican lawmakers preaching the need to get vaccinated, finally. In Utah, Senator Mike Lee joined the chorus as well. Our senior senator stuck to the theme that the government shouldn't mandate that you get a vaccine, that we should be gracious to all regardless of their choice, and then he explained why he chose to get the vaccine himself. That was as close as I've seen Republicans getting to the right message, but the needle they're trying to thread is one entirely of their own making. From the get-go, Republicans could have and should have taken the position against government mandating that citizens get a vaccine while playing up the patriotism of doing your part to help the nation recover quickly. They could have played up the obvious economic advantage and boost to capitalism that comes with being the first country in the world to get vaccinated and get life back to normal. Instead, somehow, we let the vaccine turn into a political football, and now we're trying to turn an aircraft carrier around as quickly as possible. And that's no easy task. So, will the new GOP talking points be enough to get the MAGA crowd vaccinated? Only time will tell. If they can, it's certainly a testament to the potency of their propaganda machine. As the Delta variant surges and primarily targets those who opt out of the vaccine, we can only hope it prevents needless suffering and death. That's it for this week. More on Message in the next issue of the Utah Political Underground. Make sure you follow us on social media and visit our site to sign up for our weekly email update. You can find more On Message videos, in-depth Utah political stories and analysis, plus podcasts and so much more at utahpoliticalunderground.com.